I am sure you have some great world-changing script for me, but there's something we have to talk about.
Well, I did want to pitch this movie about two famous horror icons that beat the crap out of each other, but I suppose it can wait. What did you want to talk about?
That I met a woman who has great taste in clothes and terrible taste in men. And she suggested that I spend more time with my adopted daughter, Wendy.
Name's Angela!
Anyway, this lovely lady suggested that Wendy was too young to work for me. Me and Wendy spent the night, because I sure as heck didn't spend the night with her, playing an old board game from the 40s about a murder and figuring out who did it.
So, you played Cluedo.
Bless you.
Why did you say bless you?
Because you sneezed while trying to say clue, making it sound like you added a at the end.
No, I didn't sneeze. Clue is the American title for Cluedo.
Now you're just making stuff up to sound smart.
No, that's the truth. Why do you think I'm making it up?
Because I have heard of Clue, and Cluedo sounds like a cheap adult film parody.
I give up. What was the discussion leading to?
I want you to make a movie about Clue.
No.
You mean yes.
I meant no.
You mean no, meaning yes.
No meaning yes?
Of course. Why wouldn't you say yes?
Because you have no plot.
Was this a plot between them, Wadsworth?
It's a game about finding out who murdered Dr. Black.
You mean Mr. Body.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I present Mr. Body?
What are they all doing here?
Eating dinner.
Whichever version of the character you want to use. The point is, the game is about who killed him, and you have a different outcome each game. That is not a plot. That is a dartboard with random names and places on it they're throwing darts at to make up a plot. That's not how a movie works.
Point is, we've got to find out in the next 39 minutes. You're a bit late for that!
But this could still work as a movie.
How?
By focusing on the characters.
What characters? The colored pawns named after their colors with one-dimensional backgrounds?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm instructed to explain to you what you all have in common with each other.
Oh, ye of little faith. Let me just show you how easy this is. Let's start with Mr. Green.
He was Reverend Green in Cluedo, but sure. Let's start with the North American version.
In the game, he is a greedy businessman with possible mafia ties.
So, you were thinking about having a plotline that ties Mr. Body in with the mafia?
No. We'll make him a closet homosexual who's working for the State Department, who's afraid of losing his job if his sexuality is discovered.
I feel no personal shame or guilt about this, but I must keep it a secret or I will lose my job on security grounds.
But that isn't even close to...
Shh!
This is getting serious.
So, Mrs. Peacock in the game is a grande dame who always maintains her dignity.
Sit down, Miss...
Tell me you aren't going to make her a prostitute.
No, of course not.
Oh, thank God.
That's going to be Miss Scarlet.
Tell him it's not true.
It's not true.
Is that true?
No, it's not true.
What?
You didn't let me finish. Miss Peacock is going to be the wife of a senator who has been taking bribes for her husband's vote in the Senate.
Oh, please. I've never heard anything so ridiculous. I mean, nobody could blackmail me. My life is an open book. I've never done anything wrong.
You couldn't just let her be an elderly yet still attractive woman?
Of course not. We're talking about murder suspects here.
Well, one of us must have killed him.
Well, I didn't do it.
Oh, son, I need a drink.
Which brings us to Professor Plum, who, in the game, is a quick-witted middle-aged professor with a bow tie and glasses.
Provide gentlemen with the company of a young lady for a short while.
Oh, yeah? What's the phone number?
Let me guess. He's a serial killer.
That must be it.
You are terrible at this game. No! He's a doctor who lost his license when he slept with a patient.
You know what doctors aren't allowed to do with their lady patients?
Yeah?
Well, he did.
Now he works for the World Health Organization.
He works for who?
I don't know the guy's boss's name. You can make up that part.
Oh, never mind. Is that all the characters?
No. We also have Mrs. White, who, in the movie, is a multiple widower whose husbands keep losing their heads. Both of them.
Being killed is pretty final, wouldn't you say?
What the hell? In the game, she's a maid.
It's funny you should mention that, because the maid in this movie is somebody everybody wants to...
Yeah, I get the idea.
Last but not least, we have Colonel Mustard, who in the game was a, big game hunter. In this movie, he's actually going to be a colonel.
That's it? He's just a colonel?
Oh, and a war profiteer.
Colonel, you drive a very expensive car for someone who lives on a colonel's pay.
I don't. I came into money during the war.
Obviously. So, what you're telling me is, this movie, based on the game, has nothing to do with the game.
That isn't true!
Are you telling the truth?
Well, no.
Ha! A double negative. I'm afraid it's led to proof positive. Your movie has nothing to do with the game.
It's creative licensing. Besides, that's not important now. Now that we have the characters taken care of, we can concentrate on finishing this plot.
What plot? So far I've heard 40% clueless mixed with 60% bullshit with no ice. And that is not a cocktail anybody wants.
And that is why you are here.
Oh.
What do you think, I asked you here for your charming personality and long flowing hair?
You son of a... So what you're telling me is you want me to come up with a plot
That's right.
for a movie based off of a game,
Yep.
based off the suggestion of a woman who wears nice clothes, and I'm hoping turns you down for a date.
You got it! I just wish I'd have got it. Or gotten some. Or gotten any. Or just gotten.
I'm nowhere near drunk enough for this. So, I don't know how you think you possibly have a plot with a bunch of random people like this.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm instructed to explain to you what you all have in common with each other.
I mean, I guess we could have them there for like a fancy dress party?
Or an orgy.
No, it's not an orgy.
Aww. Party pooper. Never an orgy with you.
Don't worry, there's nothing illegal about any of this.
Are you sure?
Of course, this is America.
I see.
It's a free country, don't you know that?
I didn't know it was that free.
Alright, so they're for a party, but nobody knows why.
I have absolutely no idea what we're doing here, or what I'm doing here, or what this place is about, but I am determined to enjoy myself.
So they're waiting for their host.
I got it. We can use this as an excuse to have our most beloved character come in. Kind of like how we introduced Charlie in all the Critter movies.
Oh.
Whatever. Our main character can be the witty host, Wadsworth.
But their host is supposed to be Mr. Body. What the hell is a Wadsworth?
Well, I overheard these two fellas talking down at the Rainbow Room when I was there for lunch. Apparently, it's what you get right as you're engaging in...
Stop. No. That is not what I was asking. I was asking, what the hell is a Wadsworth in the context of this film?
Why didn't you say that the first time? You really should be more specific. Wadsworth is the real host who organized this whole shindig and got everyone into the house. He could be the one who organized the orgy as well. Instead, we'll have him tell us all three of the endings of the movie.
3. Are you out of your mind? Did you just say 3?
Yes, I said 3. Yes, I said 3. Yes, I said 3. Is there an echo?
Only one caused by the hollow space between your ears. Something tells me I'm not driving home today. So, as much as I'm going to regret asking this, what are these 3 endings you have planned?
Oh, that's easy. Just as soon as you write them down in that little notebook of yours, transfer them to paper via typewriter, hand them over to me and say, here's that script you've been waiting for. I'll tell you what they are.
How can I come up with endings when I haven't finished coming up with a plot? Look, you want Wadsworth to be your secret host? Fine. We'll make him the butler.
I'm merely a humble butler.
What exactly do you do?
I battle, sir.
Perfect! Then we got our first ending. The butler did it. The butler always does it. Even in the adult films.
No, you can't do that. Well, maybe we can do that. But my original point was going to be that everyone's going to expect that. So we probably don't want to do that, even if we maybe do that.
Awkward.
Actually, we could say that Mr. Body was blackmailing them and that Wadsworth wanted to get them together to confront him. That actually could be our plot.
Ha!
So, they all arrive one at a time.
This would be a perfect place for a poop joke.
What? Why?
Ease the mood. I know. We'll say Wadsworth stepped in something.
But that's not even funny.
Okay, you're right. We'll make it a running gag that everybody smells something that walks by or near him.
You have your instructions.
Anyway, the guests began to arrive and were introduced to Wadsworth and the maid.
The busty maid, Yvette.
Yvette, would you attend to the Colonel and give him anything he requires? Within reason, that is.
We'll have the busty maid Yvette. I don't care.
Good idea. I approve.
So, the guests all arrive one at a time.
Except for Professor Plum. Obviously, such a dashing rogue of a man would not arrive without being in the company of a beautiful woman.
Professor Plum and Miss Scarlet, I didn't realize you were acquainted.
We weren't.
You're basing the Professor Plum character off yourself, aren't you?
I don't know what gave you that idea.
Right. You know, you interviewed all the characters except for Miss Scarlet. All you said about her was she's a prostitute.
Oh yeah, I meant to finish that.
Not me.
You're not being blackmailed?
Oh, I'm being blackmailed, all right. But I did what I'm being blackmailed for.
And it was a whorehouse where they wouldn't let somebody like me in. Wait a minute.
Good. We have all the characters in.
Oh, and the cook. We need a cook.
Why do we need a cook?
How else are they gonna have dinner?
Everything all right, Mrs. Howe?
Dinner will be ready at 7:30.
Fine, whatever. We have all the characters we need then.
Not if we want a higher body count. But we need a few more. Just a few.
I know you two are busy talking nonsense and staring at each other, but I figured I should let you know when you were gone earlier, a policeman came by wanting to ask you about a waitress. A guy asked to use the phone because his car broke down, and some hippie dude wanted to save your soul, but I told him you were far beyond saving. Oh, and you got a singing telegram. I didn't even know they still did those. It was kind of catchy.
Yeah, okay, that works. So, I guess we're done.
Agreed. We got our plot.
And at least 2 endings. I'm sure we'll come up with a third later.
You two only talk about random stuff. You don't have any endings.
Of course we do. And furthermore, we know exactly the story to tell to get there.
Well then, what are the endings?
Tell you that, we'll have to go through the entire plot of the movie from the beginning.
Ready?
The movie starts with Wadsworth showing up at the mansion.
It's time for a poop joke.
And it prepares for the guests who all arrive at the mansion one by one.
No. Except for Professor Plum.
Who arrives with Miss Scarlet.
Because she's hot.
Professor Plum and Miss Scarlet, I didn't realize you were acquainted.
We weren't.
And they're all seated at dinner, with Mrs. Peacock sitting next to Plum, who's sitting next to Mrs. White, who's sitting across from...
Get on with it!
I'm getting there. They all have dinner when there is a sudden crash of lightning, and Mr. Body arrives.
With a suitcase.
Is that important?
Absolutely.
And then they all go to the sitting room for a brandy, where it is revealed Wadsworth got a letter, and Plum got a letter, and Green got a letter, and Mustard got a letter.
Get on with it!
Point is, blackmail. Mr. Body is blackmailing them all, and when this is revealed, he goes to get a suitcase.
Which is filled with deadly weapons, which he gives to all the guests.
Tells them if they kill Wadsworth, they all go free, and turns out, the light.
The only way to avoid finding yourselves on the front pages is for one of you to kill Wadsworth. Now.
But Mr. Body ends up dead instead, and no orgies took place.
They mention the brandy might be poison, and then Yvette screams. They all run to see her, except for the person who is murdering the cook.
Who murdered the cook?
I'll tell you in the ending. Once they remember the cook is in the house, they run to find her dead. But while they're doing that, someone else is killing Mr. Body.
But I thought he was already dead.
No, he was just pretending. But more importantly, somebody knows that he was just pretending. That someone chases him in the hallway and hits him in the head with a candlestick holder.
Ugh, now he's dead.
This makes everyone nervous about having weapons lying about with a homicidal maniac running around. So they put the weapons in a cupboard and lock it, with Wadsworth keeping the key. Only have a motorist stop by and ask to use the phone.
My car broke down out here, and I was wondering if I could use your phone.
Just a moment.
Which is when someone steals the key.
How did you know that?
Can you keep a secret?
Of course.
So can I.
I didn't throw the key away. I put it in my pocket, and someone could have taken it out of my pocket and substituted another.
What happens next?
They let the motorist use a phone, but lock him in the room so that he can't snoop around. They decide to then split up to see if anyone else is in the house, which is when one of them burns all the evidence against them. Opens the cabinet and kills the motorist.
One of them is my old boss from...
They find the dead motorist and the open cabinet, but before they can do anything, a cop arrives.
Good evening, sir.
He's there because he found the motorist's car.
They lock the cop in the library, but unlike the motorist, he doesn't take this well. So they have Green give him a tour while they set up the dead bodies everywhere to make it look like they're having a wild party.
And this is not an orgy because that is gross with all the dead bodies.
Fools the cop, but they still lock him in the library when he goes to use the phone. They then split up once more to finish checking the house for anyone else when
the lights go out.
Somebody then kills the cop, Yvette, and a singing telegram woman.
Fine, that's your story and you're sticking to it. But what about the endings?
Well, I think this ending is rather obvious at this point. You see, Yvette murdered the cook and Mr. Body under the orders from Miss Scarlet, for whom she once worked as a call girl.
You knew Yvette too, didn't you?
Yes, she worked for me.
Miss Scarlet then killed her along with the other murder victims. She wanted to keep her business of extortion safe and now plans to sell the other guests' secrets.
I'm going to sell my secrets, your secrets, to the highest bidder.
She intends to shoot Wadsworth,
So, I'm afraid your moment has come.
who asserts there are no more bullets in the gun.
There was one shot at Mr. Body in the study, 2 for the chandelier, 2 at the lounge door, and 1 for the singing telegram.
That's not 6.
1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1.
Wadsworth then reveals himself to be an undercover FBI agent, takes the gun from Miss Scarlet, and apprehends her.
Ah, Wadsworth, well done.
The evangelist is revealed to be the police chief, who arrives with the police officers and federal agents. They have a brief argument that the gun is empty. To prove it, Wadsworth fires it towards the ceiling.
There are no bullets left in this gun, you see.
However, it still contained 1 bullet. And the gunshot brings down the hall chandelier right behind Colonel Mustard, narrowly missing him.
1 plus 2 plus 1. It's 2 plus 1 is...
But what about this? Mrs. Peacock killed all the victims.
You murdered them all. You were the person who was missing when the cook and Mr. Body were murdered.
To cover up her engagement or bribes from foreign powers. Mrs. Peacock holds all the others at gunpoint.
Very well. What do you propose to do about it?
While they sing their rendition of For She's a Jolly Good Fellow.
Which nobody can deny. Which nobody can deny.
So that she can escape to her car, but she is then caught by the chief of police and the men he has stationed outside. Wadsworth reveals he is an undercover FBI agent planted to spy on her activities as to secure her arrest.
There's still one thing I don't understand.
One thing.
Or what really happened is that each murder was committed by a different person. Professor Plum killed Mr. Body.
Professor Plum, you knew that Mr. Body was still alive. Even psychiatrists can tell the difference between patients who are alive or dead.
Mrs. Peacock killed the cook.
You killed the cook. She used to be your cook, and she informed on you to Mr. Body.
Colonel Mustard killed the motorist.
Colonel Mustard, when we saw the motorist at the front door, you took the key to the weapons cupboard out of my pocket.
Opened the cupboard, took the wrench, ran to the conservatory,
Entered the lounge through the secret passage, killed the motorist with a blow on the head. Like that!
Mrs. White killed Yvette.
Yes, I did it. I killed Yvette. I hated her so much. Flames on the side of my face.
And Miss Scarlet killed the cop.
Pipe, true or false?
True.
Mr. Green is therefore accused of killing the singing telegram girl.
Will you stop that? No.
But Wadsworth reveals that he killed her and that he is in fact the real Mr. Body.
I choose to expose myself.
please, there are ladies present.
The man Professor Plum killed was his butler, with the witnesses to each of their secret activities dead.
I'm grateful to you all for disposing of my network of spies and informers. Saved me a lot of trouble.
And the evidence destroyed, Mr. Body now plans on continuing to blackmail them all.
And you'll just go on blackmailing us all. Of course. Why not?
Mr. Green suddenly pulls out a revolver and kills Mr. Body.
Good shot, Green.
He reveals himself as an undercover FBI agent who has been on Mr. Body's case. He brings in the chief to arrest the others. Mr. Green then leaves,
I'm gonna go home and sleep with my wife.
revealing his earlier claim of homosexuality was just part of his cover.
You're hired.
Oh, thank God. She's going to do so much better at this job than you do.
No, not my job. She was supposed to take your...
I accept. First things first, writer guy, I need 3 more scripts by the end of the week. And I don't care what they're about.
Yes, sir. I mean, ma'am.
And you, lazy guy, I need you to do all that piling up in the back room, as well as make me some coffee. Take my phone calls and get working on payroll.
But they...
Did I stutter? Time is money, people. Get going. Go, 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 go.
Right away.
You know what? Fine.
It's good to be boss.
That was good. Not just...
If you hit record the first time, I wouldn't have had to tell you to hit record. That's right. You actually have to hit the button for it to get a record. That's how it works.
Now he sees how hard it is to push a button. Yeah.
You two only talk about random stuff. Ow.
Hey, but now he works for the World Health Organization. God, mother fricker.
Fine. If that's your story and you're sticking to it. I screwed up that horribly.
You turned it into a question.
I really did.
There's one for the blooper reel.
Is that important?
It's a little too high.
But some untied people... Untied?
Untied?
Untied.
So untied people. Grown.
Really?
Grown.
Really?
But what? Bleh.
Oh man, you were doing so well.
I don't know what gave you that idea.
Colonel Mustard killed the murderer.
You gotta start over.
You gotta start over.
Ah!
Brought them together. I gotta redo that now. You know, I'm nowhere near drunk enough for this. And I can't open the damn thing.
I don't know if it matters or not.
No, it doesn't matter.
Sometimes you get picky.
Yeah, this time I'm not getting picky.
Okay.
Just for this line. I'll get picky with your lines. Are you ignoring me now? What is this? Let me grab it. Alright.
You know the one by Stephen Kong?
Stephen Kong.
Stephen Kong. You've heard of him, right?
Nope.
No.